he doesn't need to, that's not his to worry about anymore. That's, the billing people, they worry about that now. So it gets it clear out of his hands. If it's not in those four columns, he doesn't need to look at it, and it's no sense in messing up his app with a bunch of stuff that doesn't, you know, concern him.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. No, that's perfect. Um, so yeah, I was looking back. So you guys started using Proline on our legacy version in April. And what was the main thing was sales follow up at that time, right? Is automating the sales follow up?
Yeah. So the two biggest thing, we bought it for sales follow up. We really wanted, we knew we were looking at too much work to do a legitimate follow up process. I mean, we run a very, very lean operation. Last year we did well over $1 million per employee. So it's very lean. There's not a whole lot of slop there. So we had to figure out a way to follow up with these people, because you send them a quote. I don't know how many of them we go to that are looking at three. And if they're looking at three different companies, three different quotes, if one person continues to follow up at least once a week or whatever, I mean, the chances of you being hired are significantly better. So, we knew we were leaving a lot of jobs on the table just by not following up. So we bought it for that. What we found was we used it for everything. Like every kind of messaging that could be done, we were doing it through Proline with really, really good success. Probably my favorite is the Google reviews. Um, so in 2023, between our two locations that we had on GMB, I mean, we did well over 100 reviews. We had like 400 jobs we did, and I think we ended up with like 125 reviews total in a year's time, between the
That's a
two pages.
that's a great ratio. That's awesome.
Before that, I had 50, and I'd been in business 8 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a no brainer. Like that alone, we rank number one in our main location. But that second location in Charleston, you're talking a capital city, smallest one in the country probably, but it is the capital city of West Virginia, so it is a significant area. And I just checked before this, we're number 4 right now, and we don't even have a physical address verified in Google yet. So,
Yeah.
it is strictly because I believe that consistent. I mean, we're up to like 26 reviews on that. We only built it like 6 months ago. So we're beating guys that have been there for 30 years. I think it's huge. I think the review follow up through Proline was a big factor in that.
Love that. Yeah, that was something that it makes more sense now that it's a full complete platform, but a lot of it was something that we struggled with when we were that legacy platform. We were always leading with the sales follow up, but it was designed to be flexible where you can use Proline in every part of the process. There's so much different communication pieces that can be automated. And going back to your point on you guys didn't have time for a legitimate sales process. I think we would hear and still hear a lot where it's like, oh, I want my guys to be doing manual follow up. And it's like, because manual follow up's best or manual follow up is most effective. And we never argue that. Like, yeah, I mean, it's if you have your guys do all these messages manually, are they going to be more effective? Probably, because they're going to be able to customize a little bit more. If they're actually doing it, which is very hard to get them to actually do it. So you're gonna spend personally a lot of time as the owner, and your managers are gonna spend a lot of time just getting everyone to actually do it. So that is a huge struggle. But then the other piece is looking, and I think I love how you're thinking about how valuable your team's time is in hours. And so you look at if someone spends an hour following up, what are we actually spending on each one of those hours? And can we get like 80% of the results without having to spend that much money per hour? And that's in my mind, that is what Proline was designed to do. It's to get 80% of the results of doing the follow-up without having to actually spend that money on your people to do it.
I'll add to that too. That piece you're talking about business owners saying that they think a manual follow up is better. I don't think it's worse or anything like that. The problem is we've done manual follow up, a lot of it. Like, especially in the slow season, you're following up because you got the time. Like right now, my guys, we're using Proline to send automated follow up, but they still are attempting to follow up manually. And let me tell you something, nobody answers the freaking phone. So if you get 1 in 10 to actually take your call, that's pretty good. You know what? Like, how much time did you just waste trying to call when 95% of the country gets text messages? Like, so the other thing we do that I think, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but man, it seems like I get really good response rate. Our messaging in text, our emails are very professional. Our follow-up emails and things like that, they're very professionally wrote, exactly the way we want that communication to look, but it's an email. But all of our texting, we intentionally kind of screw it up. So we've got automated messages with typos.
Told me
And
this is very funny.
I'm not lying. You guys can look. So we'd like miss commas or not put, just little typos, not put a period where there should be a period, just stupid little things. And it looks legit because we're not robots. People texting from their phone have typos. So what we do is just throw some little errors throughout our automation campaigns to where it doesn't look like a robot sent it. It looks like Josh sent that text, So as soon as we did that, we've been playing with Proline's automation since, well over a year now. And we just kind of keep critiquing and keep modifying. And when we did that, our response rate went way up, because people thought, oh shit, that's not a computer. They screwed that up. I really think that there's something to it, but
I love that.
yeah.
I think it's tough for us to put that in our templates for people, but for anyone listening that once that's maybe a bad look on us. They'd be like, these guys have no idea what they're doing. They give us a bunch of templates of typos, but
right. No, but I would test it. Why not? What's a typo going to do? They're going to
we could have
you?
templates that are just like have a disclaimer, like typo template.
Yeah, there you go. That's what you need. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. No, that's great. I think James will listen to this when he's editing it. James, we need to add some more typos to our automations for Proline because we use, so this is a really interesting thing, and I don't believe it's true of any of the other, to my knowledge, any of the other CRMs in the roofing space. None of them use their own product. Now, do we run into barriers sometimes trying to use our own product that's not designed for a software company? Yes, but we believe in eating our own dog food. Like and it helps us because sometimes we catch bugs before users do, or we run into problems and we're like, oh, this is definitely a problem that our users are having too. Let's fix this just by being on the platform. I mean, there's most of the other roofing CRMs, they use HubSpot, they use Salesforce.